Support WrestleTalk!
It's SummerSlam Weekend, the biggest party of the summer. Biggest is right because SummerSlam is shaping up to be another long show. While as of the time of recording there's 9 matches scheduled for the event, there's still time for a Raw and SmackDown Tag Team title match to be added, plus an Intercontinental title match, plus a Cruiserweight match, plus potentially an assortment of other matches they'll just throw together, so no doubt this card will be lasting 17 days. But with all the uncertainty surrounding the event comes rumour and speculation, and your boy Chopper is here to sort it all out. So let's take a dive together as we rumour rate, speculate and surprise-rate about SummerSlam 2019. Before we get into the stories, make sure to press the thumbs up, subscribe and bell icon to enable notifications, and leave us a comment answering the question of the day, which today is, which match are you most looking forward to for SummerSlam Weekend? Now let's get into it. Finn Balor will leave after SummerSlam. Of all the rumours on this list, this is the one you can be most sure of. Plenty of sources have reported that Finn Balor has requested 2 months off from WWE following his match with the Fiend Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. Fans fear that the match may be in jeopardy after Finn was pulled from last weekend's Smackville show, which I'm still not 100% sure what that was, but all reports suggest that it was a 24-hour bug and that Finn will be at SummerSlam to face Wyatt. It's hard to argue that he doesn't deserve a break, given that he spent the majority of the past few years being beaten up by people twice his size. Furthermore, he's just got engaged, so perhaps he wants to spend more quality time with his lovely fiancée and rest his body before he descends into the deepest pits of hell. I mean his demon gimmick, not marriage. Marriage is good. Many have fantasy booked that Balor will return and join the OC alongside AJ Styles, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, but as WWE struggle to have him as anything other than a plucky babyface, we'll have to wait and see before I get too excited. Fiend Bray Wyatt will win. Honestly, if this one doesn't happen, you'd have to start questioning the sanity of Vince McMahon and the writers. I mean, even more than usual. Bray Wyatt's Fiend character has been one of the very few consistently brilliant things on WWE TV this year. From his Firefly Funhouse segments to his attacks on both Finn Balor and Mick Foley, it really has felt like a breath of fresh air and a new start for Wyatt. The key for WWE is to not make him a wacky, spooky Wyatt again and hand the creative side of things over to Wyatt himself. He has proved himself to be a bit of a genius. I mean, you have to be a genius to make people forget that you were once called Husky Harris. Simply put, Bray should and will win, and then he needs to go on a tear through WWE and win the WWE Championship as soon as possible. He's just too good to waste. Hopefully we don't get Finn to return and beat Bray, because Finn needs a heel turn more than I need this box that I'm standing on right now. I mean, seriously, look, I really need that box. TOMMASO Ciampa will return. Now I know this technically isn't a SummerSlam rumour, as a Ciampa return would most likely take place at NXT Takeover Toronto, but it's still a SummerSlam Weekend rumour, and it's quite an exciting one. Fightful.com got their hands on a portion of WWE's internal injury report last week, and one of the standout names on the list was that of former NXT champion TOMMASO Ciampa. He underwent surgery on his neck earlier this year, and many feared it could be the end of his career. But it looks like the future is promising for Ciampa and his neck. Aside from posting the odd recovery update on Twitter, WWE's internal injury report suggests that Ciampa could be back as soon as mid-August, which would be around the time of SummerSlam, or more importantly, NXT Takeover Toronto 2. Ciampa's best frenemy Johnny Gargano is in the main event of the show in a 2 out of 3 falls match with Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. Could Ciampa return to hand his old buddy a victory, or could he be back in heel mode and cost Johnny his shot? It has to be pointed out that WWE's injury report is an estimate, but you would think that they know better than most regarding their star's health. Brock Lesnar will retain. Yes, I know. WWE has set up the feud so that Seth can thwart the Beast who has terrorized him since winning the Universal Championship at Extreme Rules, but if the latest odds are to be believed, not so. Brock Lesnar is a heavy favourite to retain according to betting sites in the US, which could suggest that we're in for another cut-and-paste long Lesnar reign, with challengers moaning about how he's never there to defend the strap. While that sounds about as exciting as trapped wind, it kind of makes sense. Lesnar's current WWE contract reportedly expires around March or April 2020, and as it's Brock, he's going to be in the Universal or WWE Championship picture for the entirety of his tenure because, well, he's Brock Lesnar. But surely Brock Lesnar would be eager to chase the 24/7 championship after dropping the Universal title. It's the logical next step. More than likely the match will be hyped, and then Brock comes out, 8 suplexes, 3 F5s, and then goodnight Seth. Awesome. Becky Lynch will retain. But apparently it won't be all bad news for WWE's favourite new power couple, as Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch is very much the favourite to retain her belt against Natalya in what will probably be a disarm her versus sharpshooter submission match, as was teased on this week's Raw. While the departure of Ronda Rousey following WrestleMania 35 has completely flattened the momentum the WWE Women's Division had, Becky Lynch still has been the shining light in the swamp WWE has allowed its women's division to become. Now this isn't an insult towards the female wrestler at all, it's just the way they've been booked into the ground by WWE's writing team. Please give the WWE women more to do. While Natalya is a refreshing competitor to Becky Lynch's title that's not Lacey Evans or Charlotte, it doesn't really seem like the time to have Natalya win the belt. I think it's going to take someone a bit higher up the women's division to take the belt off Becky. Someone angry. No. That's not good. Need a better word for angry. Ooh, how about rowdy? Ronda Rousey will return. It's now been just under 4 months since Ronda Rousey lost her Raw Women's Championship to Becky Lynch in the main event of WrestleMania 35, so it's about damn time she showed her lovely smiling face again. Despite being on what she called an impregnation vacation with her husband Travis Brown, rumours are starting to circulate that WWE are very keen on bringing her back in, especially with SmackDown's debut on Fox right around the corner. It has been reported by the Wrestling Observer that WWE wants to completely pack SmackDown with stars for the move to Fox, and there are few names associated with the company that carry as much mainstream media weight as Ronda Rousey. It is reported that Fox is looking for SmackDown to start averaging over 3 million viewers, which is about 1 million more than it's doing at the moment, so something is going to have to change. In terms of SummerSlam, Ronda has history with both Becky and Natalya, so perhaps she returns to put her name back in the hat after Becky wins and have her challenge for the belt later this year. Bayley will win. After this week's SmackDown Live, it looks like the SmackDown Women's title match at SummerSlam might be a triple threat match, as Alexa Bliss defeated #1 contender Ember Moon clean. I mean, if Alexa isn't going for the Raw title, I guess she has to be going for the SmackDown one. Despite this, it is still very much thought that champion Bayley will walk out of Toronto still holding the gold, because it's clear that WWE doesn't care enough about the division to book any major changes. It's a shame to see how little attention the SmackDown Women's title has been given, and no, the Alexa Bliss-Nikki Cross storyline doesn't count. Bayley and Ember Moon were 2 of the top female NXT stars at 2 different eras of NXT, so this should be one of the most hyped matches in a long time, both male or female. Unfortunately, it's been shackled with Ember's lackluster push, the whole Alexa-Nikki angle, and Bayley's title run not being given much time to shine. Woohoo! This will be Shane McMahon's final match. The Shane McMahon vs Kevin Owens match has the stipulation that if Owens loses, he leaves WWE. Despite this, it may very well be that it's Shane McMahon that disappears after losing to KO. The storyline they've been telling points towards WWE finally realizing that fans are sick to death of seeing Shane in main event after main event. So why not give him a silly Shane spot, have him jump off something unnecessarily tall, and that will write him off TV for hopefully a very long time. Shane has only not wrestled at 1 big show this year, and that was at Stomping Grounds Time to Kick Ass and Take Names, where he was in the corner for Drew McIntyre in his match with Roman Reigns. He will undoubtedly return further down the line, because he's a draw, but WWE have set him up for a fall, and with Owens on a bit of a tear at the moment, it would be very believable for Shane to lose and lose badly, giving fans what they want and bringing in at least maybe 10 more fans to the product. Plus it'll make Owens look great, and that's always a good thing. Shane, go away, come again another day. Goldberg will fight Dolph Ziggler. Considering Ziggler has been name-dropping Goldberg left, right and center in all his promos lately, this one shouldn't come as much of a surprise. But Then again, Goldberg has retired, not that that means anything in the wrestling industry. It was reported on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that this is in fact the direction they're going in, and Dolph Ziggler will fight Goldberg at SummerSlam. After his rather lackluster performance at Super Showdown against The Undertaker, Goldberg himself has said that he wants another match to wipe away the sour taste that was left in his mouth after that match. And to be fair, if there's anyone that could sell Goldberg's offense and make him look like $1 million, it's Dolph Ziggler. That doesn't really change the fact, though, that Goldberg's matches in his latest WWE run would be against Brock Lesnar, entering the Royal Rumble, winning the Universal Championship from Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar again, The Undertaker, and Dolph Ziggler. Daniel Bryan will fight Roman Reigns. In one of the most unintentionally hilarious angles in recent memory, Roman Reigns was buried underneath some scaffolding and boxes on this week's episode of SmackDown, which according to the latest issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, will result in Daniel Bryan being revealed as the attacker. This will be followed up with a match between the two at SummerSlam, which honestly, I am well up for. That could be one of the matches of the night if done right, as they're both outstanding in-ring workers. All that we need to find out is Bryan's motive for attacking Reigns, which we very well may be getting on this week's episode of Raw or SmackDown. If you haven't subscribed to Screen Stalker yet, then why not? Head over there to check out Ollie, Luke, Laurie, and myself all talking about movies, games, playing games, and generally going a bit nuts. Press the subscribe button on the screen right now to be taken over there. A special thank you to our pledge hammers on Patreon, some of whom you can see scrolling below me right now. Press the thumbs up, subscribe, enable notifications, and leave us a comment as well. I've been Chopper Pete Quinnell, and that was wrestling.